Ever pondered what it would be like to hit gold? In a literal sense. Parker Schnabel, however, that's exactly what the youthful and adventurous star of Discovery Channel's Gold Rush has done. From its humble beginnings in the Alaskan tundra to its rise to prominence in the gold mining industry, Parker has accumulated a substantial fortune in addition to gold. However, what is his exact wealth? We'll reveal the facets of Parker's success story in this video, examining his wealth, his opulent way of life, and his motivations. Prepared to learn what makes this contemporary miner so legendary. It's crucial that we examine the early years before getting into the juicy stuff. Discover how Parker Schnabel became a legendary person in the world of gold mining. The creation of a hero in gold mining. Parker Schnabel is a native of Canada's untamed and stunning Yukon Territory. He was born in the tiny town of Haines on July 22, 1994. Parker's early life in Alaska was greatly impacted by his family's long history of mining. Parker was often exposed to his grandfather's tales and advice as a child. A well-known figure in the gold mining sector is John Schnabel. John had a mine in Porcupine and was frequently considered one of the best miners of his era. Creek, Alaska. Here, amid the slithering creeks and majestic mountains, that Parker's interest in gold mining started to grow. Parker showed extraordinary interest in and passion for the family business even as a youngster. He observed his grandfather and learned the ins and outs of the mine over the course of many hours. Exchange. John took Parker under his wing after noticing a spark in his grandson and taught him everything he knew how to locate and extract gold. Parker's tiny hands excitedly took hold of the instruments of the trade, and he soon realized how complicated the procedure was. Parker's love for gold mining only grew stronger by the time he was a teenager. Although the majority Parker was fantasizing while children his age were engrossed with the usual teenage pursuits of becoming wealthy and establishing himself in the gold mining industry. He would frequently went to the mine with his grandfather, learning everything he could. John made the decision to put Parker to the final test when he turned 16. He rented a portion of his Parker as the sole owner of Porcupine Creek, hence he bears full responsibility for all expenses and earnings. Critics questioned if a 16-year-old could manage such a significant task. However, Parker stepped up to the plate and put together a small group of nearby miners to work the claim. Parker's unwavering diligence and astute intuition allowed him to often, to the astonishment of spectators, extract tremendous amounts of gold from the claim. Parker's mining abilities improved over the years, and his standing in the field improved as well. Started to expand. He led his group with a blend of young vigor and ageless wisdom. However, how did Parker become into the modern-day gold mining hero? What was the pivotal moment in his path? Hold on tight, and let's explore further. Parker's ascent to stardom. By the year 2012, Parker Schnabel was already a young prospector for gold. A Yukon success story. Experienced miners were astonished by his familiarity with the terrain and his application of contemporary mining methods. As word got out about his accomplishments, it wasn't long before producers of reality TV knocked. They recognized the chance to transform the public's interest in Parker was the ideal star because of his talents and his enthusiasm, and he turned gold mining into a popular show. Parker was given the opportunity by the producers to participate in a brand new Discovery Channel program called They intended to capture his work and introduce the country to his family's mining heritage through Gold Rush viewers. Parker discussed it with someone since he felt this was a great opportunity to get his name out there. John, his sage granddad. Gold Rush was created after they all agreed to try the show out. Parker immediately gained popularity among viewers after the show's debut. His young zeal was adored by everyone. His extensive knowledge of mining and his unwavering perseverance. The program soared in popularity, and Parker Schnabel became well known and a rising star in the gold mining industry. However, the celebrity just strengthened his will to achieve. Parker took advantage of his newfound notoriety when he returned to his Porcupine Creek operation. He expanded the size of his staff and made investments in larger, more potent machinery. Additionally, he was an astute tactician who never stops coming up with new ideas and methods to extract more gold. Season after season, by his early 20s, Parker had broken his own records and amassed nearly 3,000 ounces of gold in a single season. With this level of accomplishment, Parker was earning millions of dollars and establishing new benchmarks for the quantity and efficiency of gold that could be extracted from the earth. Parker's extraordinary abilities and gold rush had transformed him from a bright young miner to a pioneer in the field who was revolutionizing the way things were done. However, there were drawbacks to celebrity as well. Other miners, some twice his age, who were having financial difficulties, began to doubt Parker's achievement and feel envious. Parker would face additional challenges in the following chapter of his story. He would have to contend with intense competition, a tumultuous gold market, as well as a loss in one's own life. However, will Parker be able to grow his mining business even more? Or will he be defeated by these new challenges? Watch this space to find out. The test of grit. In 2016, Parker Schnabel's life underwent a significant sea change that was characterized by both devastating loss and a strong sense of purpose. That was the year he bid farewell to his cherished grandfather, John Schnabel, who died at the remarkable age of 96. John was more than just a part of Parker's family. He was a hero, a mentor, and his most reliable confidant. Their bond was based on much more than just having similar ancestries. It was founded on a profound affection for the untamed Yukon and gold mining. From Parker's early years, John Schnabel had been a constant presence in his life. He taught the mental toughness required to endure its unrelenting challenges in addition to the technical abilities necessary for success in the cutthroat business of gold mining. Difficulties. Parker was patiently taught how to read the land by his grandfather, find excellent mining prospects, obtain and oversee claims, manage a diligent team, and come up with new ideas when conventional approaches failed. These teachings would serve as the cornerstone of Parker's future achievements. Parker's life was left with an indelible hole after Grandpa John passed away. He was troubled with grief, threatening to divert his attention from his work and personal goals. But from this grief came a fresh feeling of resolve, a strong will to uphold his grandfather's legacy and advance the family business. Parker quietly but resolutely vowed to do whatever it took to make John proud. Parker paused to collect himself after the heartbreaking farewell before plunging into his new world. For the first time, Schnabel Mining's whole responsibility sat directly on his youthful shoulders. No comforting voice or safety nets remained, giving guidance from all across the mining site. Parker was alone himself, but he was prepared. Parker had a strong desire to succeed and established high standards for both the business and himself. He wasn't satisfied with keeping things as they were. He wanted to develop, grow, and surpass his own annual gold production records. He became somewhat of a real estate agent throughout the ensuing years. Magnate in the gold fields of Yukon, he negotiated a lease and obtained a number of new claims for the highly sought-after Eureka Creek site, which has long been rumored for its rich, unrealized potential. Parker was now overseeing more than one mining operation. He was governing a multi-claim, intricate empire that spanned the untamed Yukon territory. Parker found himself in unfamiliar territory as a result of this quick expansion. He had to overcome tremendous obstacles. He needed to develop rapidly, becoming proficient in resource management, strategic planning, as well as logistics on a far bigger scale than previously. Having several crews running concurrently and state-of-the-art equipment dispersed throughout many locations, the expense of operations skyrocketed. Payroll duties, fuel expenses, and equipment rentals, all of these his profit margins were eroded by expenses, which increased pressure from all directions. Parker, however, shown that he was tough. He adjusted rather than crumbling under the pressure of financial strain and expectations. He improved his ability to lead, putting together a capable group of foremen and managers to assist him in managing the expanding enterprise. He turned into a careful planner, examining production data with unwavering concentration, and continuously looking for methods to increase productivity. Errors were unavoidable. The initial errors in project timing, crew location, and equipment distribution all posed a threat to him. Parker, however, resisted defeat. He viewed each setback as a teaching opportunity, modifying his tactics and becoming into a more astute, resourceful leader. During this difficult voyage, Parker frequently found himself leaning on the teachings his grandfather had taught him. John's lessons on resiliency. When things became difficult, Parker's vision and tenacity reverberated in his head. Considering the fact that in the face of fierce competition and growing difficulties, Parker summoned his grandfather's spirit, honoring the man who once taught him how to take advantage of hardships. Parker Schnabel is now one of the most esteemed individuals in the Yukon's society mining community that is competitive. His ascent to fame is more than just a corporate success story. Success is a tale of perseverance, compassion, and an unshakable generational link. Parker's accomplishments serve as a live testament to John Schnabel's lasting impact. A monument to the strength of tradition and the unwavering quest for greatness. Parker keeps moving on despite the difficult journey, motivated by a pledge he created a long time ago, in remembrance of the man who taught him how to dig for greatness as well as gold. The memory of Grandpa is carried with him in every ounce of gold he extracts and every accomplishment he makes. John, and the silent fulfillment that comes from knowing that he is always making him proud. The dedication of Parker to the land. Parker Schnabel, who grew up with his grandfather in the untamed splendor of the Yukon, created a profound regard for the pristine landscape that encircled him. The majestic mountains, glistening rivers, and a variety of wildlife weren't merely scenery, they were an essential component of Parker's The World. As his mining business expanded quickly and he became extremely successful, a duty fell on his shoulders. He was aware that he couldn't just take from the land and leave it unreturned. Maintaining this, preserving the natural environment for coming generations became a fundamental principle that directed his mining operations. For Parker, putting eco-friendly practices into practice became crucial. He recognized that the environment might be severely damaged by conventional mining techniques. He made large investments in cutting-edge containment devices to stop that. These advanced systems served as strongholds, guaranteeing that dangerous chemicals employed in the delicate ecosystem wouldn't be impacted by the gold mining procedure. Parker also used state-of-the-art filtration technology. This technique worked like an extremely powerful strainer, carefully eliminating any tainted water. Prior to its arrival at the glistening streams and tributaries that wound across the Yukon. Parker's dedication to the environment, however, extended beyond simple prevention. He was also fervent. Discusses clearing the land after mining was finished. After the gold was extracted, like sculpting a massive piece of art, teams would painstakingly change the ground. The land would be graded to guarantee appropriate drainage and debris would be properly removed. Drainage. The last step was to reseed the area with natural plants that were especially selected to flourish in the climate of the Yukon. Bear mining was transformed by this painstaking reclamation effort. locations that are brimming with life and return to their native environments. As time passes, these reclaimed spaces restored the ecosystem's delicate equilibrium by welcoming a range of flora and animals. Parker's commitment to the environment extended beyond his business ventures. As his notoriety increased, he saw the chance to use his position to further the common good.